Howdy again, folks. Welcome back to more songs and stories of the Old West. And we've been talking about a lot of the folks out west, but we ain't talked about the pioneers and the settlers who went west back in the 1830s, 40s, and 50s. So let's do that now. All right. Well, the explorations of Lewis and Clark and Zebulon Pike and them other fellers encouraged Americans to move westward. Folks who were trapped in small towns and big cities heard stories about huge areas of unused land out west and about gold finds. And the U.S. government grew fearful it might lose them western lands to Mexico. So they needed citizens to go out and occupy that land. So the government offered cheap land to anyone who would claim it, and the race to settle the West began. And the early settlers of the West traveled in covered wagons pulled by mules or oxen. As many as 200 wagons would form a wagon train, although some were smaller than that. And the wagon trains followed rough trails that was dug into the ground by the wagons that had come before. The trip west took several months. A well-organized wagon train could travel up to about 20 miles a day. But a wagon train that ran into bad weather, harsh conditions, might take 2 weeks to go that same distance. And conditions on the wagon trains were harsh, and settlers were exposed to extreme weather. Heavy rains flooded the rivers, making them impossible to cross and turned trails into thick mud. Food and water ran out, and many people died of starvation or became dehydrated in the intense heat. Travelers were exhausted by the long days and them difficult conditions. Remember, the folks going west did not ride in the wagons. They walked alongside the wagons all the way west. Only thing that rode in the wagons were the children and the supplies and the family heirlooms. And as the trip went on, they got rid of some of them heirlooms just sitting along the trail because they was too much to carry along. Well, people became weak and disease spread quickly. Without doctors, settlers found it difficult to help the sick, and many, many people died. And among the many thousands of people who went west over the trails was a Mormon lady named Jean Rio Baker, and she left a moving account of her hardships during that trip in a diary that she kept. And I ain't going to have time to read them excerpts here today, but when I come back, I'll tell you some of the excerpts from Miss Baker's diary that'll give you a feeling of what it was like. So come on back later.